daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Newcastle. My name is Iain Mackay. I'm hosting tonight. I'm joined by missing in action Mr. Kevin Esther, who I've managed to winkle out of somewhere, mainly because we're recording so late that he spends the first 24 hours of each day doing something different to this. But I've got him. What I haven't got, which is a bit unfortunate, is that very, very professional looking intro that Michael's done with pictures, and it's brilliant. It doesn't just have me looking aimlessly into the wall whilst the music's playing. Anyway,
Some
forget
people
that.
like that.
We'll get that organised soon. Kevin, how the devil are you, mate?
Buzzing, and also you are looking dapper with that hat, right? So I came to record with a hat because it's so cold outside. I'm putting mine on, right? So we're gonna have a hat episode. Yeah, we're good.
Although strictly speaking, mine's a cap, not a hat. But
Well,
I'm
yeah,
splitting hairs there. I'm splitting hairs.
splitting hairs. I'm good. I'm spare. I'm like sparse these days. I'm like a rare occurrence. I'm like a Callum Wilson appearance now when I'm fully fit. But yeah, very, very happy. I shouldn't say that. I love Callum Wilson. He's the one I wanted to keep. But yeah,
He scored twice. I don't know if you saw my bet yesterday. My bet builder yesterday had Callum
Shada.
Wilson. It had Callum Wilson, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Danny Welbeck to score, and Kevin Schade. And Kevin Schade had an opportunity if Thiago had let him take the penalty instead of missing it. Then that would have been an £850 return, but he didn't.
Whoa,
So
drinks on Ian if that one came in.
I just lost me fiver, unfortunately. But I never get that close. That was exciting. Not as exciting as. I mean, I was very excited sitting at home watching on the television. But Kevin, you were there. You were there for the match.
Amazing.
And we are going to get into that, and I'm sure the sheer joy will come through when you describe what the atmosphere was like and how many times the hairs on the back of your neck stood up. But I'm going to ask first. I was a little bit nervous going into this. I was hoping 5:30 under the lights, Manchester City, Newcastle would be on it because they seem to pull a big game out of the bag.
True.
However they've been playing when they get one of the top six at home. But I have to admit I wasn't completely convinced. Although I did predict a single goal win. How are you feeling before the game?
Well, me being a happy clapper, as everyone knows I am, I'm way too positive to be a Newcastle fan. We actually aren't we aren't in terrible form. I think before that game we'd won 6 of our last 9 in all competitions, and now it's 7 of our last 10. So I know obviously losing away to West Ham and I've completely wiped the other one from my memory. Who else did we lose away to?
Brentford.
Yeah. You see, that's why I'm so positive. I just wipe the losses completely. They don't exist in my head. But yeah, I didn't get the whole negativity. Yeah, it's not great. You want to win them games and you want to be up the table as high as possible in the Premier League, which we weren't and still aren't actually. But yeah, won 7 of our last 10. I wasn't saying we were definitely going to win because it's Manchester City and we are in good form. They look like another kind of title challenging team from Pep. So I was thinking, I'd take a draw here. But I did have a funny feeling. I said to my mate at work, I was like, you know what? I think we'll do them. It's just typical Newcastle to lose them 2 away games and then go and absolutely play Man City off a park and do them over. I did say 3-2 at work. It was 2-1, but a single goal win, so I'll take it. But yeah, I wasn't as negative as other stuff I'd seen online. And I was aware that Eddie Howe's next kind of win was his 100th, and I thought, what a way to do it that would be, because he's never beat Pep before. So these things happen in football quite a bit. So I had some funny feelings in my build a bet. I did have Newcastle to win, but the rest of it was miles away, unfortunately.
Yeah. Just a point of order. Eddie Howe did beat Manchester City in the third round of the Carabao Cup when Calvin Phillips was holding the Man City midfield together.
Yeah.
But he hadn't beaten them in 18 attempts or something in the Premier League. So that monkey is off Eddie's back now. He's just got to go and do it at the Etihad next. So yeah, well that's very good. What did you think when you were sitting there looking at the team that came out? Because I thought a lot of the negativity, because those 2 results, those 2 performances were so disappointing. But we had discussed it and sort of said, well, look, it's because we're playing too deep. As soon as the fullbacks come back in and they push
Yeah,
us
we
up the
can get up.
field and
Yeah,
they're 10, 15 yards further up the field, Voldemort got the ball at his feet with his back to goal in the right place instead of on the halfway line. Um, so I was delighted when it came out. I don't know. Do you think Kieran Trippier just had a tactical hamstring strain that meant he had to step down so that Tino Livramento had to come in,
forced back
um,
in.
forced back in? Three changes anyway from the dreadful performance at Brentford.
Hmm.
The two fullbacks, Hall comes in for Byrne, who was suspended. Livramento comes in for Trippier, who was injured. And Botman left out. He had been a bit of a stinker in that last game.
Yeah, Botman was
Botman
poor.
left out for Shah to come in. And Fabian Shah, what a player. Your man,
The
isn't it?
back, the back four, my man, Fabian Shaw and Callum Wilson, this whole time since Eddie Howe's took over, I have been raving about. Fabian Shaw, honestly, that defence, which started against City, I'm not just saying this because we won, that has to be the first choice defence every time. I know it's harsh on Byrne, right, because Byrne has been colossus at centre-half, but we'll still need him throughout plenty of games. We're playing pretty much twice, sometimes 3 times a week from now until January, so Byrne's going to get loads of time. Shaw and Chow on the ball, when Man City were pressing, they were so calm, no panicking. Even though Shaw's not as agile as he used to be, he's still very fast in terms of thinking. So he's always kind of one step ahead in his head, which counts for loads on a football pitch. Yeah, them two for me. I've been calling for them two to start together for anybody who'll listen. So I'm buzzing when I saw them two. And to answer your question about the lineup, I was really happy. I was excited. I was like, yes, Hall, Tino back in. Loads of energy in that defence, which is nice. And Chow has been incredible so far, but we'll come to him a little later. But when I first saw the team, I was a little bit skeptical, and I thought, can Tino really play a full 90? He did. And I was like, oh, please don't let Hall get injured, because right now we need a left back more than ever with Byrne. I mean, again, it's a completely different argument, but Byrne is our third choice left back. Tino went to left back last season when Hall got injured.
Yeah.
But like I say, I was like, just don't let them be injured. Don't make it too early. Don't be panicking. Don't just pull the trigger because it's City at home and our league form's not great. So I was hoping it wasn't just a quick put them in and hope, but it wasn't. It was perfect. They were more than ready and played unbelievable, both of them.
Well, obviously done a lot of work
Mm.
um, over the international break, although Hall, of course, wasn't there, was he?
Under
Same
21s,
as
yeah.
Eddie Howe was saying that they'd worked hard on how to bring Nick Voltemada more into the game throughout that international break, although Nick Voltemada was away with Germany. So somebody else must have just been standing in for him whilst they
That
were
was me.
playing
That's
around
why I
it.
haven't been available. I was
Is
recreating
that
Nick
it?
Baltimore's
Right.
movement on the training ground at Newcastle. I had to keep it
Excellent. Well,
quiet.
you should have kept the tash. You should have kept the tash.
Nah,
But
cut all the hair off as well.
no, I think it showed actually. There was some excellent play in that. I know we're going to go into the game in the second half,
Mm, mm.
but I can remember Harvey Barnes coming into the middle and linking up really well, not
Yep.
just with Bruno for the second goal, for the first goal, but with Voltemara. He set Voltemara up with a fabulous ball through for another Donnarumma worldy save.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so you were happy with Joe Linton? I mean, I know with hindsight, Joe Linton was the right player to play on the left, but he has been a bit in and out,
He
mainly out
has.
this
He
season.
has. But I think that's for Byrne being left back. I think he got so used to Byrne not being left back when he was covering two positions because of Byrne's lack of pace. Um, he was so used to having Hall there or Tino there that he could just go and do his thing and just be absolutely phenomenal like he has been for the last however many years. And I think with losing them two, he was maybe a little bit more aware of, there might have been more pressure put on him from a coach and staff, or maybe Eddie himself, of make sure you cover Byrne at left back, like make sure you do your job. Um, Botman's not the fastest either. Byrne's not the fastest, and if Shaw was playing as well, Shaw's not the fastest. So Joe Linton was the one to kind of try and make up all the positions, and I thought he benefited massively from Lewis Hall being back. We actually saw him just go everywhere again. It wasn't like I have to stay on this side or cover this kind of half of the pitch because he might get done. It was I'm just going to go and I'm just going to win the ball, and he was phenomenal. But again, he's another one. I say this about Newcastle all the time. We're so quick to forget what certain players have done for us and how amazing they've been. And I'm not saying we're not open to criticism, because we are. Every player's open to criticism. I get it. But you've got to have a certain amount in the bank, and I think Joe Linton's got so much in the bank where he can have a couple of stingers, and it doesn't bother me. I'd still start him because I trust him to do the right thing, and his passion. He got right in the head of Pep, right in the head of Donnarumma. He was fighting with somebody else at full time. I was like, that's the guy you want representing you. You do not want to be on the other
Absolutely.
team. So he was brilliant. And again, I think that midfield three, I don't think that any of them are going to get dislodged. I feel a little bit sorry for Ramsey and a little bit sorry for Miley. I think they've done well when they've come in. But how do you drop any of them three, especially the way I actually thought, funnily enough, Tonali out of M3, not that he had a terrible game, but Tonali out of M3 against City was the worst performing one. I thought like Joe Linton was incredible and Bruno for me was arguably man of the match, but I'm going to have to pick that later
Yeah.
on.
I think Bruno and Tonali swapped, didn't they? That's why we saw Tonali linking up with Voltemada.
Mhm.
Now, how they worked that out in the international break when they were both away, I'm not sure. But
Zoom calls.
Tonali played much further forward, and Bruno sat much further. I think they
Mhm.
swapped the 6 and the 8 row, to use the modern term.
Ooh.
I think it's a modern
Next you'll
term.
be saying in transition
Um,
rather than counter attack.
and we're going to transition. No, I think, by the way, what I was really pleased with, because I've seen him try and fail many times. I thought Harvey Barnes tracked back. Harvey Barnes did his defensive stint there as well, and that would have helped Joe Linton get forward a little bit more, which he did.
Definitely.
Look, Kev, I can't wait to hear what it was like to actually sit in that lovely crowd, the 12th man, by the way. So let's hear from Kenny, and then he can tell us all about it.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
And it didn't repeat, which it's caught me out the last 2 times. But you can never tell whether it's going to or not. Anyway, that's good. So, we nearly scored in 30 seconds, Kev. I mean, I was jumping out of the
Wow.
couch before the first minute was up. What a first half, and how that ended 0-0 at half time, I'm not sure. 3-3 would have been a more fairer reflection.
It was a proper
Can
Premier League game. Proper Premier League
pick
game.
your
It's you
pick
know
your
what
way
we
through them all.
yeah, we've seen loads of like first off, the atmosphere was fantastic. I think Saturday 5 o'clock kickoffs just suit Newcastle, don't they? Everyone's already out drinking, we're already half drunk, and then we're making the way to the cathedral and we're just louder and the more rowdy. It's that should come in, that 5:30 should be constant, and the morning 12:30 kickoff should be scrapped because there's never a good atmosphere at 12:30 in the morning, unless you beat Spurs 6-1. That was a little bit special, but I mean, again, very rare. But yeah, atmosphere was excellent. Everything was just perfect. I think you mentioned it before. When the team was announced, there was just a little bit more of a buzz. Yes, we've got Hall back. Yes, we've got Tino back. We're going to give these a right good go. We haven't went 5 at the back. I saw some people predicting, oh, we're going to do what we did to Arsenal. There was none of that. It was we're going 4-3-3, something we used to. We're going to attack them. And the 2 fullbacks coming in was amazing. And I just thought, wow, was a special buzz here from the first minute when who was it who nicked the ball? Was it Joe Linton when Barnes had that chance?
Well, Bruno put the pressure on Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Terrible ball out that Joe Linton nipped in front. It ran to Barnes.
Mm.
He had
He's
to hit
got to do
aim at the
better. Got to
other
do better.
corner.
Yeah.
What he did is just passed it back to Donnarumma.
Yeah.
But he had
It
more time.
almost it
He had more
almost came
time than
too
he
early.
thought.
It
Yeah.
came too early. It was like, oh my god, it's a chance, and it's 30 seconds. Hit it, and he could have took a touch, and then absolutely whipped it in. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to criticize Barnes. I've probably done it enough in the past, and you know what, he's come very good. I'm not taking credit for that. It's not because he's listened to me criticizing me. He couldn't care less about my opinion, but I'm not going to give him any criticism. But first 30 seconds, that set the tone really, and I think it was a bigger moment than what people realise, even though we missed. I think it kind of shook Man City up a little bit because a couple of goal kicks after that went long. But when Haaland wasn't winning the headers, Shaw was winning it. So then you could see City already early on in the game thinking, well, we can't play out because we've been caught so early, and that's kind of shaking them a little bit. And Haaland's not winning anything up there on his own. So we had a period of the game where we were like on top possession-wise comfortably the first 5-10 minutes. In City, it took a while to get on the ball and kind of get the rhythm again. So it was a much bigger moment than what people realise, even though we didn't score from it.
Well, there was a great save by Donnarumma, to be fair, because he could have dived blind and missed, could have done, but he waited to see where Barnes was going to play it before he dived. It's only 5 or 6 minutes later that we recycle the ball around Livramento's right up on the outside,
Yeah.
overlapping to give Murphy a second or two to put a fantastic cross in. And I thought Voltemade, he headed it really well. He headed it
Down to the
down into the
floor.
ground
Good
to the
header.
side of Donnarumma.
Yeah.
People going, "Oh, you should have gone for the bottom corner." No, that was a header that was in
Great
nine
header.
times out of 10.
I agree.
What a brilliant save by Donnarumma.
Everybody
Again,
around me
one-handed.
was like, "How's he saved that?" It wasn't a "How's he missed it?" like Barnes'
Yeah,
second chance of a game. It was a "How on earth has he saved that?" Like, what is it? And he's 6 foot. Is he 6'5"? He's a big lad to get down
he's a
that
big
quick
lad.
from a
Yeah,
good header. Was an incredible save. But again, I think Donnarumma was to blame on one of the goals. But yeah, we'll come back to that.
we'll come back to him soon. Yeah. Now City carved out a few chances. I don't think they were anywhere near the quality of the ones that we had, though.
Mm,
Um, we already mentioned that Barnes snatched at that first one because it was so early.
yeah.
There's a fabulous move which results in another brilliant ball across from Murphy, which I've seen Gordon score those 2 or 3 times coming in at the back post,
hmm
but Barnes somehow contrives to screw it wide of the
Yeah, I
post.
didn't expect that at all. When it came across, I was already out my seat thinking, "This is in." He's
I
not
was in
missing
the
them.
air. I was in the
Yeah,
air. Um, Foden missed a sitter like that,
that was their best
but I think
chance.
that
Yeah,
was the only one. I do think we were lucky. We were lucky that Shah didn't get penalised for the
penalty.
tackle on Foden earlier on. And when they showed the replay of it, I mean, Foden snatches at his shot with his left foot when he's better with his right.
Mm,
I think Shah worries him because he thinks he's going to get crunched if he goes with his right foot. Hits it with his left and misses. Then Shah really hits him, really gets him. But somehow, because there's like an advantage played for a split
yeah,
second because he's got the shot away
you can't
and
have double.
his foul doesn't affect the outcome. So there's no penalty. But I thought we were quite lucky on that.
Yeah,
Haaland missed two, which I thought was a bit. I thought the ball through, which you'd expect Haaland to run onto, if he'd ran to Pope, if he'd had 20 yards to run into and took it round him, he would have scored. But Pope, for all that he's his legs are just for standing up on, not really anything else. But
yeah,
he'd raced out. He was about 10 yards outside his box. I think
yeah.
Haaland looked up and got a bit of a shock, completely
Mm,
fluffed his chip. And
tough
then there
one.
was a nice move by City where Haaland ended up side footing it. Pope's in a perfect position. It bounces off his chest.
Made
I think
himself big. Yeah.
that's a good save. No better a save than any of the saves that Donnarumma did, though.
Mm. Well, we had the Voldemort chance as well. Lovely bit of play through the middle.
Oh, that
I
was
think it
fabulous.
was
Yeah.
Barnes who played through Voldemort. That was a great save because there was a defender coming. I didn't notice this at the time till I watched it back. There's a defender coming across, which is almost making Voldemort go one side, which gives Donnarumma the confidence to go early and just get a good strong parry on it as well. So that was an incredible save from Donnarumma. And a lot of people saying, "Oh, Voldemort has to score," but I'm thinking, he couldn't go to the other side because the defender was there, and he
Yeah.
had to go that side. And Donnarumma was a fantastic shot stopper. So, um, another great chance. But again, the one with Haaland, I can't believe he didn't go around Pope. He obviously wasn't aware or had absolutely zero idea, or was just completely caught off guard. Because I was thinking when the ball came through, and again, I haven't played at any half respectable level at all, really. But even I was like, "Oh, he's going to go around him and he's going to tap him in there. It's such an obvious thing to do." And he like panicked. I never see Haaland panic, but he's only scored one goal against Newcastle in 6 games. So maybe it's just
Aye.
maybe he secretly loves the Geordies. That's what it is.
Um, we did make ourselves hostage to fortune by saying that Haaland didn't have a very good record against Newcastle,
Mm.
and he didn't. I think what he was trying to do was when he'd looked up and seen Pope so far off his line, he wanted to just chip and curl it around him. And he should have done. He had the whole of the goal to aim at,
Yeah,
but he completely fluffed that.
he did. Yeah,
And it didn't even. I don't think it even travelled far enough to go out for a goal kick. I
yeah.
think Chow went back and got it, didn't he? So I thought at half time we could easily have been ahead. I was pleased that they hadn't got the penalty, that Foden had missed that sitter,
Yeah.
and we'd saved them from Haaland. So exciting coming into the second half. You're hoping it's not a game like we've had before where Newcastle are very good in the first half and then go off the boil in the second and end up throwing things away.
Mm,
Probably like Brentford, really. Brentford was
yeah.
dreadful second half. West Ham was a dreadful second half. Um, but no, the second half was a bit more of the same. We were on the front foot, won a corner in the first minute, I think it was.
Hmm.
Um, and there's a little bit of give and take, but another great game
Yeah.
till you get to this fabulous move for the opening goal. And again, it's Joe Linton who wins it, plays a forced looking little pass back to Bruno, who carries it forward, knocks it to Barnes with a lovely little Voltamada like layoff with the outside of his foot, and then spins away in the other direction for Bruno to find him
Hmm.
2 seconds later. And then what a shot! 22
Great
yards or
finish.
something,
Great
right
finish.
in the bottom corner.
He hasn't hit it with loads of power either. He's kind of placed that. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's hitting the side netting as it goes in, and you just think that is an insane finish. I honestly think, and as much stick as I've given Barnes, I've always said, and I think this is why he's frustrated us so much. He's probably one of, if not the best finisher at the club. Now Callum Wilson's gone, and obviously Isak's gone, and Voltamada, we're still yet to see them kind of one-on-ones and how consistent he is. So he's definitely one of the best finishers at the club. And I think that's what my frustration was with Barnes for a long time was if you are that good at finishing, just learn one or two tricks, like a shimmy, Beardsley shimmy if it has to be, right? Not that it's easy to do because Beardsley was a magician. But yeah, some sort of shimmy, some sort of step over just to get a yard and ping it. Like that's all you need. You don't need much. You're such a good finisher. And then for a long time, he was a little bit stale, but I've got to admit, and I've got to hold my hands up, he's finally starting to look like the player we thought we'd sign for 35, 40 million pound. From Leicester, he's starting to look excellent. 3 goals in his last 2 games. He had an assist in there as well. I remember he put a great cross in. I think it was the cup game. So yeah, I think Barnes. I think Gordon. Good luck getting back that finish. And funnily enough, when he missed the sitter in the first half, I did say to the person in front of me at the ground, he will definitely score his next shot, no matter where it's from, because he's going to be so determined to really, really want to put that right. And my
Yeah,
God, did he put it right? Great finish. I mean,
he put it
obviously,
right.
gets the winner.
Well, that and the goal 10 minutes later
Mm,
puts him at joint top scorer for Newcastle this season with 6 alongside Voltamada. So, his finishing prowess is being reflected in the numbers as well now.
yeah.
City score a scabby equaliser.
Awful
Ruben
one to
Diaz,
finish.
first goal Ruben Diaz scores in 4 years. The previous time he scored was at St James's Park. I
Shock.
think that was a I think that was a 3-2 loss or a 4-3 loss. I can't remember. I
Yeah.
remember watching it though. Annoying. Um, but yeah, then it was excellent second goal. Straight 2 minutes later, we're not going to get anything. I mean, they could have folded there, couldn't they?
Yep.
If this was
Could
a
have.
team that didn't have the heart that it's got, if
Yeah.
it was a team whose confidence was brittle, that it looked good for an hour because they were more than matching Man City, but had the sort of confidence hangover from Brentford and West Ham games, there is
Hmm.
no way they would have been straight back up the other end. And not just, I mean, their first attempt from the corner is cleared. The second attempt, it's got to be recycled. It's
Hmm.
so it's so precise. I think it's a ball played out. Barnes wins the loose ball um, and lays it out to Murphy.
Hmm.
Another fabulous cross in for Murphy. Voltamada climbs like or leaps like a salmon.
Leaps like a salmon.
Can't put the header on target, but knocks it back. And Bruno's always on that back post. And
Oh,
the
the commitment from Bruno,
strength.
man.
Oh yes, that's just got to say
He
that.
dive and header just to get anything. He was just toothing. There's like claw and nail and everything just to
Yes.
get on the end of that. He was desperate to drag us through that game. And it sums up his performance. And just to get a head on it, never mind to come off a bar, I thought, oh, this is another Arsenal-Liverpool where we're going to get done over. And then Barnes, before he actually kind of weirdly backheels it in, takes an insane touch on the outside of his boot to have
He
the
does.
composure to do that in the 6-yard box at 1-1 against Manchester City, where you think, oh, here we go, here come not champions, but that type of team are just going to come in now and go into the next gear and kill us. He's taking a touch on the outside of his boot and kind of half backheeling it into the roof of the net. Unbelievable,
Backheel.
fantastic, much better
Fantastic.
than what people give it credit for.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, to finish the game off, Kev, I think, was that 78th minute? No, 68th minute. 68th minute. So there's 20 minutes with at least 20 minutes still to go. City didn't really get a sniff after that, did they? Am I lying? They didn't. They had a lot of the ball,
Yeah.
but it kept going backwards and forwards in front of us. So they were probing.
I felt like
I thought the whole 11
defended.
of Newcastle
Yeah, we defended really well. And I think what was really important, I think when I said it to my brother, I think, Bruno, after we scored the second, was literally back to Pope and Chow and Shaw, like telling him, focus. We cannot concede again here. He's obviously got Liverpool and Arsenal in his mind because it's just so natural to go there as a human being. Previous experiences, and he's got like fingers on the side of his head. He's telling them, focus. We do not let this one go now. Not like Steven Gerrard, who ironically then slipped after saying, we don't let this slip. But Bruno was literally going everywhere. He was going to Pope. He was going. Chow was coming back. He was telling Chow. He was telling Shaw. He told Joe Linton. He told everybody who could possibly ever be told. He probably even told the groundsman, don't do anything stupid. Let's be sensible. And they were so disciplined after that, tracking the men, passing men over, stopping the overlap, stopping the crosses. I think Livramento made one tackle on Savinho, bearing in mind he hasn't played a full 90 for ages, and Savinho's fresh on, fast, nippy winger, and he makes a block to stop it, and he gets there, and then the corners were strong. We were getting the heads away. So it was amazing to see after that. It was almost like a bit of a confidence boost for the fans to see that, right, okay, we don't just concede last minute winners, because this season it's just went that way. It seems like it's one of them seasons. But yeah, unbelievable grit and determination, and just, I mean, again, not that any sensible fan was ever questioning Eddie Howe again at this time of the season. If that doesn't show that they're playing for him and the club and us, the fans, I don't know what does. So yeah, unbelievable way to win that game.
Well, I thought it was wonderful and was excited. I loved hearing all of the bits afterwards. Everyone talking, the fans, the podcasts, the people coming out of the ground, just chatting to you. It's exciting stuff. Now, I'm going to play the Zencastr advert, and we ought to commiserate with. I can't remember what he's called now. Who's the bin dipper that does the adverts now? I've forgotten his name. Soz, mate. I've said it 1,000 times. This is read by a Liverpool fan who, of course, is having to commiserate with him. Another 3-0 loss, this time
Alexander
by
who?
Nottingham Forest. This time by Nottingham Forest, who hadn't won away from home all season. But that's their second 3-0 loss in the Premier League in a row. Never mind Liverpool. And then we'll come back. I just want to ask you if you think we've turned a corner, Kev.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out as the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone, AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the description to learn more about Zencastr.
And we are back for part 3.
Jesse, is it?
Now,
is that Jesse?
pardon?
That's not
Pardon?
Jesse reading that,
Jesse.
the Liverpool fan. That's
Yeah,
not him.
it's Jesse.
That's him. Wow,
I think
professional.
so.
Sounds amazing. Fair play. Well done.
Jesse, that's the name. Jesse. Never mind, Jesse. Anyway, it shouldn't be too bad to cope with 3-0 home defeat by Nottingham Forest, because they had the same thing to deal with last year. And it was only 1-0 last year, but, that's, what can you do? Poor old Liverpool. Isn't it a shame that Arnie Slot is looking so worried? He must be really stressed.
What a shame.
The words smug smile wiped off the twat's face. Could be on people's lips, but not mine. Anyway, Kev,
That was excellent, Ian.
after after our dreadful performance at Brentford last year, we put together a run of 9 straight wins. Now, we are desperate, crying out for the same sort of run to move us up the table. It looks bad, the table now. Even with that win, we're 14th, 4 points above the relegation zone, but only 4 points off the Champions League places.
Crazy.
And I got a little bit of a surprise after Villa beat Leeds that they had jumped into 4th place because they were doing as badly as we were a few weeks
There
ago.
were, yeah.
So we can't be that far off. So a decent run could put us where we all hope that we are. And I have had a little bit of a look at what we've got left to play this year in December. I know there's a couple of games left in November, isn't there?
Yep.
We're at Marseille in the Champions League on Tuesday. I think we turned up at the Champions League games. You know, even with all the injuries, we managed to draw at AC Milan and a draw at Paris Saint-Germain the last time.
Mm-hmm.
The killer, the one that we've got to wait for is, and again, it's under the lights at 5:30, but it's away at Everton next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think Everton. Well, we'll see. I think Everton will get tonked off Man United tomorrow, and they're not. They're better than they were, but I don't think they're not world beaters, are they?
No, it's a winnable game. It's a winnable game. I said this again when I said I fancied us against City in the office when I was at work. I was thinking, and again, if you get that win, you've got Everton away, which is winnable, not easy at all. But then your next two are at home, and one of them at home is midweek under the lights, so you know the atmosphere will be bouncing. The Spurs game, I think it's 8:15 kickoff or something.
Tottenham against Arsenal this afternoon,
Oh,
absolutely dreadful. But
yeah,
then Tottenham in the Carabao Cup at our place, absolutely dreadful. I've high hopes that we'll do Tottenham.
yeah.
We hope we'll do Burnley at home.
We've got
We then
Burnley
go
away in
away.
December as well.
Well, we then go away to Sunderland. Now they're in good form, but what? They're only 3 or 4 points ahead of us now.
Anything can happen in a derby, though. It's just one of them things, and
It's a
that season
derby.
I was
Anything
much
could
more
happen.
confident in the cup. Over 2 seasons ago, I was much more confident in the cup because it was a cup game, and you felt like we had too much for them. I still feel like we've got too much quality for them, but we just seem to. I don't know. It's just weird. I'm not a. Yeah, less said about that game right now, the better. I think.
Right. Then we've got the League Cup at home to Fulham.
Mm-hmm.
We're defending that. We've got to beat Fulham. We've already done that even before we'd rediscovered our confidence and had our fullbacks back. Then the festive period. What a great set of games this is. Home to Chelsea. We always beat Chelsea, Kev. Always. And I think
12:30 kickoff.
Cole Palmer's kicked the door at home and broken his toe, so he's not going to be back in time for that, I don't think. Then away at Man U on
Boxing
Boxing
Day,
Day, which is
Old Trafford.
it's another big night. It's another big nighttime telly match. That the only one on Boxing Day. That'll be a good game. But I'm saying that'll be a good game. But if we have won the previous 6 or 7, and I think we've got a great chance, certainly league matches,
Mm.
to beat Tottenham, beat Everton, beat Tottenham, beat Burnley, beat Sunderland. So that could be 5. We've just beaten City as well. That could be 6 straight wins in the Premier League when we got Chelsea at home, Man U away, Burnley away. But
Yeah,
Burnley's doable as well, isn't it? I think that's a run of games there. What is it, 10 or 11 games? I mean, we could be
yeah,
winning. We could be winning all 11, but let's be realistic. We might get 2 away draws in the Champions League.
yeah.
We could win the other 9.
I agree, and I'm all for the optimism, but we've got to remember as well this Premier League is is comfortably the most unpredictable league in the world. We've learnt that with Liverpool this season. As much as we like to revel in it because of the Isak situation and the comments after they took him from us, they're in horrendous form. Nobody saw that coming. Let's be honest. They've spent £500 million after winning the league in a worse off. So it just shows anything can happen. But you're right. You look at the fixtures. Was the Brentford game again this season before the international break the kick up the bum we needed? where we're like, right, we've got to dig in now. None of this show up and expect to win. Every game is a cup final from now until the end of the season again. And we pick up. I think it definitely could be, but again, I've got to tell all the other Newcastle fans, especially if they listen to this, the ones who go for Eddie Howe out as soon as there's a tiny bit of... We will lose games again this season, and that's okay. But you're right, Ian. I think the Turner I was going to say the corner has been turned. I said the Turner has been corned. So it shows that I'm not that confident. Yeah,
whether the Turner has been corned or the corner has been turned, if we can be picking up 5 or 6 wins out of those next 8 Premier League games, I think that's going to put us up where we want to be, which is challenging for the European places.
yeah. Well,
And
I
if
will
there's a
just add
spin-off
very
on that, which gets us qualified for the Champions League before we have to go and play at Paris Saint-Germain, then that's all well and good too.
I will add very quickly, the form we're in at the minute, 7 of our last 10 in all comps. If we do that again coming up, because we've got more Premier League games now, there's only 1 League Cup game in there and 2 Champions League games. So if we win 7 of our next 10 again, even though apparently we're in disastrous form and all that rubbish, if we do that again, I think we'll be top 7 going into the new year. And then that allows you to get a January window. Wisa comes back and we attack it from January. So I would happily take the same form we've been in all competitions over the next 10 again. 7 wins in the next 10 would be fantastic. So yeah, let's hope we just carry on with the form we're on, but let's try and pick up some points away from home. Let's start with Marseille and then carry it on to Everton, right?
Absolutely. So when the transfer window comes, Kev, this is nothing to do with the pod. This is a bonus. This is a bonus from trying to stretch the pod to 40 minutes.
Extra time.
Who's top of your shopping list in the transfer window?
I'm going to say the same name I said in the summer when, I obviously wanted Wisa and I obviously wanted Elanga. Elanga hasn't quite worked yet and Wisa hasn't played yet. So it shows what I know because they were my top 2 targets.
They were. That's why I'm asking.
So I think another striker just to have a third option, especially if Wisa does go to AFCON. Vlahovic, he hasn't signed a new contract. I mentioned him in the summer. Fantastic record at Juventus. Great record at Fiorentina. Is a perfect Eddie Howe type player. He's strong, he's physical, but can also run in behind. If Eddie Howe gets his hands on Vlahovic, he's going to turn into an absolute superstar. He hasn't signed a new contract. It runs out in the summer, so you could get a bit of a bargain there, taking him off the hands early so Juventus get a little bit of money for him because they're spent big on Vlahovic, so they'll want at least something back. So my number 1 target would be Vlahovic. I think it's a perfect... This season, I think he's got 6 goals, which is okay for kind of what he's done previously. Nowhere near the height, but it's a perfect player for Howe to take in, put his arm around and say, right, if we are going to play a 4-2-3-1 eventually with Voltemada behind Wisa, we do need another striker, or if we go 4-4-2, Vlahovic, Voltemada and Wisa, you're looking at them options to either play 1 or 2 of them together and you're thinking, wow, we can have a big push here. So yeah, my number 1 target, Vlahovic. I'd also like to see Bueno from Wolves, left back, just to give us a little bit more depth there. Hugo Bueno, Wolves are in a bit of trouble. If you make a nice bid, he's 23, 24 years old. Bring him in for maybe 30, 35 million. Wolves can reinvest that and try and stay up. So yeah, I'd take Hugo Bueno and Vlahovic, and I'd be very, very happy if that was our January window.
Do you not think we should be making sure that we're top of Elliot Anderson's list of the next club he goes to? We don't want Man U to buy him, for goodness sake, or bloody
I'm not a big
Arsenal.
fan of bringing... He wouldn't get in our midfield. I know there's lots of games and he'd rotate in, but he wouldn't start. He'd be 4th choice now. It depends what Jacob Ramsey does.
I think there are games when he would start because...
It'd be a nice little story, but I don't like bringing players back.
Neither Tonali nor Bruno can play 60 games a season. I think you've got to have 6 that you can rotate your 3 from.
Forest will rip our eyeballs out if we want him back because he meets a homegrown quota for the Champions League. So they will add an extra 20 million for us compared to what everyone else gets quoted. So I don't know. I'd like to see him back. It would be a good story. Geordie lad, he was at the cup final when we won it, even though he wasn't at the club. I'd love to see him back, but I just think there's probably better value for money elsewhere if you are going to go for a midfielder.
There definitely is better value for money. But He can't go and win trophies and be an England regular and Elliot Anderson, Arsenal. That doesn't sound right. He's the
Doesn't.
Geordie Maradona. We need him back. I say, as Liverpool paid 100 million more than Isak's actually worth, that we've got money to spend on him.
Excellent. Good
Let's
way
be
to
honest.
finish.
No one would pay 25 million for Isak now.
Could we take
Kev.
Ekitike? Ekitike is a bit unhappy.
Oh, I would have loved Ekitike, yeah.
He's
Do you think
unhappy.
he would?
He's sat on the bench. He's sat on the bench for a guy who can't hit a barn door with a machine gun at the minute. So do we say, look, come here, you'll be loved. This is your final opportunity, because we've come in for you the last
After
couple
the
of
last
times.
3 times.
Right, however, this is your final chance, but look what it means to be here. And you sat on the bench for a bloke we've paid 120 million for, even though you started the season off on fire, and you're on fire for France, and we'll still put you on the bench because we have to play this lad who, again, we don't know, he scored 6 goals for Sociedad or something. We have to play him because we paid so much money for him. Do we take Ekitike? I don't know. Probably not. That one's unrealistic, but it would be nice to happen.
It'd be interesting going into the transfer window when we're knowing we've actually got some money to spend, though, wouldn't it? I mean, there's choices there. And actually, by then, if everyone stays fit and the form picks up like we think it's going to, we're going to be in a really strong position, I think.
Title challenge?
Well, I mean, I thought we had a title challenge when Eddie was taking us out of the relegation zone. We're moving up that way.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Kev, it's lovely to catch up with you, mate.
Great episode.
You've really caught the excitement and joy and thrill of that game yesterday, which was brilliant watching it on the telly. It's a shame I wasn't there, but I'm glad you've experienced that. And I have got tickets for Tottenham and Burnley. That's the next 2, isn't it?
You're in.
So yeah, let's get there. My name's Iain Mackay. That was the Daily Newcastle. I was joined by the lovely Kevin Esther. Thank you very much indeed, everyone, for listening. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch everything on YouTube, or if you just listen to the podcast, you can get us on all of the platforms. We will see you. We'll probably see you tomorrow for a preview of the Marseille game. Goodbye.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.